SMT Nation, we are back. Nation, in today's video, I want to take a look at an article from Dano Light Reading. He discusses the T-Mobile 5G UC, I guess we'll call it philosophy, right? It's basically done over N41. The 2.5 gigahertz frequency has really been carrying the load over there at T-Mobile. It's carrying all the mobile traffic. It's carrying all the home internet traffic. I mean, it's doing all the heavy lifting in the 5G era for T-Mobile. And T-Mobile had a lot of this from the Sprint acquisition, but they've been getting more and more of it. And that's what this article is really about. So since 2020, as T-Mobile has shown that they wanted to go all in with 2.5 gigahertz, they're not doing anything really with C-band, and they already got rid of their DoD. So like they've dabbled in spectrum auctions, but it really hasn't been anything that they've built, right? It's been all about the 2.5 gigahertz and Spectrum Auction 108. And then more recently, we've been seeing them trying to purchase more of the licenses and doing spectrum swaps for more of the 2.5 gigahertz licenses across the country. They basically want to own all of it across the entire country. And ever since the clearance for educational facilities and churches got the ability to sell their spectrum licenses, T-Mobile's been trying to gobble them up as much as possible. Some entities are still just trying to do leases with T-Mobile. They're very profitable, and they can always renew leases at later times. You basically, you're talking about a tenant relationship. But T-Mobile's trying to buy it all, and I don't blame them. They're leveraging their entire capacity coverage layer with N41, and that's all these licenses. They've had some problems. Everything has not been rosy. We've seen accusations from other entities that they're trying to bully universities and colleges and churches and other things for selling. And, they're trying to pay lower prices, and they don't want schools talking to the private equity firms, who deal with this stuff. It's hilarious. So we've seen some muds, getting slung around a little bit. But T-Mobile's going to try to buy all this. And I don't blame them, because they're pretty much the only company building it to any type of sizable scale. There are some like fixed wireless providers, and I think also some private network builders that are doing some things with it. But I think at some point, T-Mobile's just trying to own all of it. I mean, they might even just buy those companies outright just to get the spectrum so they can deepen the channels within N41 and just make it better. To, bring more capacity, make it more contiguous, get better spectral efficiency. And obviously, it's an entire synergy. If you look at what Verizon did by going 160 megahertz on a national scale, it's about contiguous, right? Not having disrupted channels of N41. Carlos S. Tech has shared with us what a non-contiguous N41 experience is like when you've got 40 megahertz on one carrier and like 80 megahertz on another, or something like that, right? You really want the deeper swaths of bandwidth that are contiguous. You just get better spectral efficiency. It's a much better experience, and it produces better capacity, right? Cleaner signal and all those types of things. So I think T-Mobile is going to continue in this direction. I don't think they're going to slow down. I think Dano is right. I think whatever research, these companies are doing to try to kind of track what T-Mobile is doing here, I think it's going to show the same thing every single time. They're trying to buy all the licenses they can, try to terminate and end these leases and become owners. And I think also just, gobble up as much as they can and be basically the solitary builder of N41 across the country. They haven't been a good neighbor, for companies that own the licenses and broadcast it themselves. So, if they're not going to play nice, I think there comes a point where those companies are probably going to end up having to just sell, make some really good money off of T-Mobile and then just move on. You know what I mean? I think that's probably the outcome in some of those instances. But I don't blame T-Mobile. I think this is smart. How much should they do with other frequencies? I don't know. They're trying to keep their capex down to like $9 billion a year. Stuff like this is how you do it, right? Focusing on that one single band sure does bring some cost efficiencies and allows you to kind of just continue to kind of go that direction with that channel as your primary. What do you guys think about all this? What do you think about the way T-Mobile's been moving? You guys think they're going to continue looking for this 2.5 gigahertz, exploring every option, no rock unturned? I think that's the way it's going to go. But what do you think? And how much success do you think they find? Everybody's take might be different, but I think, they're pretty hell-bent on getting all this spectrum. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. You all, the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.